Hello everyone and welcome to Engineering Tutorials. In these tutorials we present real and applicable knowledge of control engineering, machine learning, optimization, mechatronics and applied mathematics. This particular video tutorial is dedicated to Git. Okay, so what is Git? Git is a distributed version control system. Git is usually used for the development and maintenance of a complex software projects. The main advantage of Git is that a number of programmers can work on the development of the source code. Furthermore, we can easily create and track different versions of our code. In this video tutorial, you will learn how to create a repository on the local computer. Then you will learn how to stage and commit new files and changes in your code. Then you will learn what is a branch and how to create a branch. Then you will learn how to analyze the changes and log of your changes. Then you will learn how to create a new GitHub repository. And notice over here that GitHub is a completely different beast than Git. Then you will learn how to fetch and merge repository from GitHub. Then you will learn how to pull repository from the GitHub to your local computer. And finally, you will learn how to push the repository from a local computer to GitHub. Don't worry if you don't understand these terms such as stage, commit, branch, etc. You will learn everything in this video. But before I start, I would like to mention the following. It took me a significant amount of time, energy, and planning to create this video tutorial, as well as other video tutorials that you can find on my YouTube page. And consequently, I kindly ask you to press the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you very much. The first step, of course, is to download and install Git. You can do that by Googling Git download for Windows or for Linux or for Mac. Then you can go to this page. You can click over here, since in my case I'm using Windows, and you can, for example, click over here to get the Windows version. After downloading and installing Git, we need to open the command prompt or terminal. You click on Start and over here type cmd. Click on command prompt and let us verify that Git is actually installed. Type git version and let's see the result. Okay, so I can see over here that Git version 2.37.3 for Windows.1 is installed. Of course, everything that I will explain in this video tutorial applies to Mac computers, to Linux machine, as well as to other versions of Git. Our first step is to create a local Git repository. To do that, we need to create a new folder. To create a new folder, I will type this command. Then over here in my root folder, I will type make directory and I will call new folder test-git. Then I will go to my new folder and I will type this command. I will see, as you can see over here, that my new folder is completely empty. Next, we need to specify and define a few parameters such as username and our email. To specify the username, we will type git config, then global, since we want to specify the global username that will be valid for many repository, that is for all the repositories on your computer. Then we will type user.name and we will define our username. In my case, it will be Aleksandar. Okay, next, let us specify our email address. Again, I will type git config global user.email and I will write my email address over here at gmail.com. Okay, so far so good. Next, we need to initialize Git in our folder. We do that by typing git init. This command will initialize a new repository. As you can see over here, we initialized an empty Git repository in c testgit.git. One interesting observation: if you type this command in order to see what's happening and what is the content of your folder, you will not see git.git. This is because this folder is actually hidden. You can see this folder by opening your Explorer, then by clicking on your new folder, and over here you will see .git. This is actually a hidden folder. Okay, next command that we will learn is git status. And we can see immediately a few interesting messages. We can see that the current active branch is master. We can see that we don't have commits yet, and we can see that there is nothing to commit. Next, I will create several files in order to explain the main functionalities of Git. In real life, these files will be code files, for example, Python, C, C++, or Java files. However, in this video, these will be just toy files. To create a file, I will call my notepad and I will specify the name of the file, file1.txt. I'll click on yes, and over here I will type changed and I will type time, PM. Okay, save, close, create a new file, call this file file2.txt. Here you can say changed on 07, for example, 01 at 11:18 p.m. Close and save. Then we create a third file, and here I made an error, so I will correct that error. However, you don't need to correct that error. Actually, there is no error, so I will repeat this. And I will type changed on 01 at, let's say, 11:19 p.m. Okay, close this file. We created 3 files. However, we need to add these 3 files to our repository. Let us type git status and let's see the reply. Over here we can see that we have untracked files, file 1, file 2, and file 3. And then we get this message, nothing added to the commit but untracked files present. This means that these 3 files are not added to our commit. In other words, Git is aware of our files. However, Git didn't add them to our repository. Files in our Git repositories can be in 2 states. They can be tracked. This means that Git knows about our files, and these files are included in our repository, and the files can be untracked. This means that the files are not added to our repository, however, they are in our working folder. To add the created files to our repository, we need to perform 2 steps. In the first step, we need to stage the files, and in the second step, we need to commit the files. Stage files are files that are ready to be committed. And committing is the process of actually adding files to our repository. Let's see our files once more, and let us stage the first file. We do that by typing git add file1.txt, and let's see the result. To see the result, we need to type git status. Over here we see something very interesting. Changes to be committed, new file, file1.txt. We can actually observe that file 1 is staged. However, we have untracked files, file 2 and file 3. Next, we need to stage files file 2 and file 3. We can do that by manually typing git add file2.txt and git add file3.txt. However, imagine you have millions of files and you can basically spend days doing that. Luckily, we have a command to stage all the files at the same time. We need to type git add and then we type all. And of course, you need double dash. And let's see now the result. Git status. And voila, here they are. All three files are staged, however, they are not committed. Next, we need to commit these three files. But before we commit these three files, let us see what is the committing process. Basically, by creating a commit, we create a save point. It's a point in the project life that we can go back if we find a bug in our current version. That is, by creating a commit, we are actually creating a save point, and we can always restore that version of our codes. To commit these three files, we type git commit, and we need to specify a message. It's actually a very good practice to add messages to our commits. First version of our code. And let us press enter. Okay, let's see the outcome. Git status, and let's see what's happening. On branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. We can see three files over here, and all three files are actually committed. Next, I will change file 1. Over here, I will type changed 11:29 p.m. Then I will change the third file, and over here I will type changed on 07:01 at 11:30 p.m. Okay, let's see now what's happening. Here we can observe something very interesting. Git has automatically recognized that our two files have been changed, however, they are not added to our commit. And this is the power of Git. Git automatically tracks changes. To include these changes, we need to stage and we need to commit. However, we can actually perform both of these steps with a single command. We can simply type git commit a and message. And a over here means that we want to stage and commit at the same time. And we can type the message, for example, file 1.txt and file 3.txt are changed. And let's press enter. And again, let's type git status to see what's happening over here. On branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Let us see the log. We can see the git log by typing git log. And this is a very important message. We can see our first commit created at this time, and the message first of version of our code. Then we can see the second commit. File 1.txt and file 3.txt are changed. So Git automatically tracked all the changes, and I can go back to this version of my files, or I can keep the current versions of my file. That's the power of Git. Next, I will explain branches, their purpose, and how to create them. So what is a branch? Imagine that our three files given over here are source files for some software. And imagine that our software is working perfectly. Now, we want to add a new functionality to our software. Of course, we can edit these files and we can play with this version. However, this is not a good practice. A better practice would be to create a copy and to work on this copy. However, Git has a way more elegant way of doing that. We can create a branch. Branch is basically a version of our code. Then we can add the new functionality to this new version. We can test it, and if we like this new functionality, we can merge this version with our original version. That is, we can merge our branch with our master. Let's create a branch. We type git branch and we specify the name of the branch, new branch. Let's type git status. No changes on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. However, to see our branches, that is all the existing branches, we type git branch. And voila, we can see that the current or active branch is the master branch, and we see our new branch over here. To make our new branch active, we will type git checkout and the name of the branch. Here's the message, switch to branch, new branch. Let's type again git branch and let's see what happens. We can see that our new branch is the active branch. Again, let's see our files. Next, we will change this file, file1.txt, in new branch. To do that, we will type notepad file1.txt. Over here, I will type this is new branch, change made on 07/02 at 12:07 a.m. Save, close. Next, let us commit these changes to our branch. We'll do that with a single command. That is, we'll type git commit a m, and here we will type file1.txt is changed in new branch. Okay, let's type git status to see. We are on a branch, new branch, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Now, let's go back to our master branch. To do that, we will type git checkout master. Okay, let's type git status. We can see that we are on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. However, let us now inspect file1. Notepad file1.txt. Over here we can see that the file is only changed in new branch. That is, it's not changed in the master branch. To convince ourselves that that's actually true, let's go back and let's check out our new branch. That is, let's make the new branch active. Here I need to type git checkout new branch. Here's our file. Let's see our file. File1.txt. In this file1 in new branch, we can see that we have this message. Consequently, file1 is only changed in new branch. So to test new functionalities of our code, we will create a new branch. Then in the new branch, we will modify the files. We will perform test in new branch. And once we are satisfied with these changes, we need to go back to our master branch and we need to merge or combine these changes with our original version. Let's do that. First, I will type git checkout master. I will make sure that my master branch is active. I can type git branch. I can see that my master branch is active, and let's merge our new branch with our master branch. We can do that by typing git merge new branch. Here we are merging our master branch with the new branch, and let's see the result. Okay, we can see that file 1 is being changed, 1 file change, 2 insertions, 1 deletion. So let's see the result. Remember now that I'm in the master branch, and I will look into file 1. Okay, notepad file1.txt. Let's see what happened. Voila! We can see that now in our master branch we have these changes. That is, we have merged new branch with our master branch. These two branches are now identical. Since they're identical, we can delete our new branch by just typing git branch d new branch. Deleted branch, new branch. Let's check all the branches. Voila! We only have the master branch. Next, let us upload the developed code to the internet, such that our friends, our professors, or people in our company, or some other unknown people in the world can change the code, can improve it, and modify it. For that purpose, we will use the GitHub. Under the assumption that you created a GitHub account, we will first create a new repository. Over here, you need to click on this sign and click on New Repository. Let's give a name to this repository, test1.git or -git. We will not add the description, we will keep the repositories public, we will not add the README file, and we'll click on Create Repository. Okay, so here's our repository. What is important for us is this link over here. So select this part over here and click Ctrl+C in order to copy this link. Next, we will upload the developed code files to the newly created GitHub repository. To do that, we first need to define our repository. That is, we need to define and to tell to Git what is our remote repository. To do that, we will type git remote add origin and paste the link of our GitHub repository. Again, git remote add origin and the link. The alias for our GitHub repository will be origin. And let's press enter. Okay, so this is the first step, and the next step is to push or upload the code files to the repository, to the online repository, or better to say to the GitHub online repository. To do that, we will type git push set upstream origin master. Origin is the alias for our GitHub repository and the master is our branch. And let's see what will happen. Writing objects to our online GitHub repository. Maybe some of you will get a message to log into your GitHub repository. However, I already logged into my GitHub repository, so I didn't get that message. Let us inspect our GitHub repository. Click back, go to your repository, and click on the name of your repository. And here it is. Here are the files. Here's our first file. Here's the second file. And here's the third file. This GitHub repository is actually a copy of our master branch on our local computer. Next, let us make a few changes to our online GitHub repository. To do that, let's first create a README file, and this is just a test. For example, commit changes, you can say over here, README file is added, commit changes, saving. And we can see that we have created the README file. Next, let's create a new file. Let's call this file file4, for example, oops, now I made an error, cancel changes. Okay, so I'll do it again, add file, create changes. Let's specify the name of the file, file4.txt. This file is created online on GitHub. Time is 12:22 a.m. Let's commit changes. File created online on GitHub, for example. This would be the message. Commit changes. Okay, now we have two new files, README and file4. However, we can see that these files do not exist on our local master repository, that is, on the local master branch. Let us now learn how to download these files to our local machine. There are many ways to do that. The first way is to use the fetch command together with the merge command in order to create exact copy of the online repository. Let's see how to do that. The command git fetch origin will only download new data from a remote GitHub repository. However, it will not integrate files into our master branch. This is very important if you just want to have a brief overview of all the files that are available online on GitHub without integrating anything in your code. So this is a harmless or safe way of downloading. So first fetch the data and investigate the data. So let's do that. And we can see over here that something happened. Files have been fetched, that is, they're being downloaded. Then let's type git status to see what happened. We can see that we are on branch master and that our branch is behind origin master by 2 commits. And it can be fast forwarded. This is very important message. This message is saying us that the local branch master is behind the master branch that you can see over here on our origin, that is on our GitHub, and the difference is in 2 commits. And we can fast forward these changes and we can integrate them in our local branch. Let us investigate what are the changes that are being made on origin master. That is, what are the changes being made on GitHub. We can type git log and we need to specify the name of the GitHub branch. The name is origin master. So let's see the results. Okay, this is very interesting. We can see these changes, right? File text is changed in new branch, README file is added. So this is made on GitHub and this is made on GitHub. And over here you can type Q in order to exit the log. Let us compare the 2 versions. That is, let us compare our local master with the origin master. For that purpose, we will type git diff origin master. And let's see results. Okay, we can see a few changes over here. We can see a README file and we can see file 4. However, these files are still not integrated in our local master branch. To see that, we can simply type this command and we can see that we have on our local computer only file 1, file 2, file 3, and file 4 and README are not over there. So let's merge our origin master branch with this master branch. To do that, we'll simply write git merge, and we will specify the name of the branch, origin master. Press enter, and let's see the result. Voila! Now on our local repository we have file4 and we have readme file. We can convince ourselves that everything is okay, but just for example, seeing the file, and I made an error over here. I should write .text, and here it is. This file is created on our GitHub repository, and here is the message entered in GitHub. Perfect. Instead of using fetch and then merge, we can use a single command called pull to automatically download everything from our remote GitHub repository. For that purpose, let us add an additional file to our GitHub repository. I'll click over here, create a new file. I'll call this file test5.txt, and I'll enter over here changes made on GitHub. Let's commit these changes. File 5 made on GitHub. And let's commit these changes. Okay, so this is our fifth file. And over here we can see that the fifth file does not exist. So let us download the complete repository by using a single command. To do that, we will simply type git pull origin. One file changed, one insertions. This is the file that's being added, and let's type dir, and here it is. Here's our fifth file. Now this local repository, that is its master branch, is identical to our GitHub master branch. Next, let us create an additional file, and let us push the final version of our master repository back to GitHub. Notepad, file6.txt. Created locally, save. Of course, this file is not available on our master branch, on our GitHub page. Next, let us push everything, that is, let us upload everything to our GitHub repository. For that purpose, we will type git push origin. However, here's a mistake. You cannot do that. You cannot do that since if you type git status, you will see that file 6 is not being staged and committed to our local repository. And that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Don't forget to stage and to commit. You first need to stage, commit, and then to push to your online repository. To commit our new file, let us type git add all, and don't forget to put 2 dashes. Let's check git status. Okay, and let us commit. Git commit message. Again, git commit, and put the message file 6 added locally. Okay, let us check their status. Perfect. Next, let us push everything to our online repository. To do that, we simply need to type git push and where to push to our origin. Okay, so far so good. Let's check our online repository. Double click over here, and here's our file. This file is created locally and it's being pushed to our online repository. Okay, that would be all for today. I hope that you like this video. If you like the videos I create, please press the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you very much and have a nice day.